बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम यो ज़रूरी ऐलान वो है द डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन लखवा दा इतला रागली दा शे यो हेवी फ्लड रा रवान दी.
This is Dad Hassan, a social worker who has been serving his community during floods for many years. Some voices are not just heard, they are felt. And on the night of the flood, his voice meant the difference between life and death for an entire community.
2010 के चिकम सैलाब रा लो दागी एक्सपीरियंस बजता और सर शेयर कमा.
Back in 2010, when the floods came, we didn't really know what to do first. We didn't always know who needed help first, and we saw how quickly the water could rise, and how little time there was to act.
As a woman, as a daughter, a mother, and a sister, I want to ask, these floods will keep coming every year, but will we keep witnessing this destruction every year, or is there a solution?
Whenever disasters strike here, the destruction affects the transgender community just as much as everyone else. But when it comes time for relief, we are often forgotten.
Weather patterns have become unpredictable. Because of these changes, sometimes the rains come at the wrong time or hailstorms hit without warning. And we lose a big part of our crops, sometimes even half, sometimes everything.
The flood doesn't just bring water. It takes our cattle, our income, our survival. These were not isolated experiences. They revealed critical gaps in preparedness, coordination, and risk management. But the real question is a flood a disaster or a risk we failed to manage? The truth is, disasters are not natural. Their impacts are, and those impacts can be reduced. This province stands at the intersection of multiple hazards: earthquakes, floods, droughts, landslides, and glacial risks. Climate change is intensifying these threats, making them more frequent and unpredictable. The question is no longer whether disasters will occur, but how prepared we are.
The traditional role of PDMA has remained in provision of relief after disaster. But now we are going into a new paradigm where we are working on the pre-disaster preparation, which involves the working on the early warning system, and disaster risk reduction is a major component of that facet.
For the first time, disaster risk reduction is being embedded into planning, development, budgeting, and coordination across sectors. When institutions work together, disasters lose their power.
The Disaster Risk Reduction Policy 2026 moves us from emergency response to risk-informed planning. Preparedness is no longer optional. It is central to development. Every sector must now integrate risk into its planning so that development gains are protected and sustained.
We can't wait for disaster to teach us the same lesson again and again. Each disaster exposes the same vulnerabilities and increases the cost of inaction. This policy is about protecting lives and ensuring the resilience becomes part of how we plan and go on.
It is very encouraging that now the multi-hazard risk assessment will be integrated into the planning level at the grassroots level. Development decision will be no longer based on assumption, but rather the mapped hazard risk vulnerability data will be utilized to inform the development planning at the provincial level.
The major aim of any disaster management paradigm is to reduce the time between information and action. The information in this case is the early warning system, and then the action is the relief activities, the pre-disaster activities, and at the same time giving actionable information to the public to move to safe locations.
So this policy represents a critical step towards embedding resilience into the development framework of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. This also brings institutions together under a shared approach where risk is addressed across sectors, not in isolation.
This means development projects will now assess risk before they begin, not after damage occurs. Together, these measures ensure that risks are identified earlier, decisions are better informed, resources are better targeted, and action happens before impact escalates.
So it will protect the livelihoods and lives of many people before the climate shocks escalates in the province. And the policy also ensures that the climate information is translated into timely action on the ground.
This policy ensures that risk information guides our decisions, not follow them. Our goal is prevention, not just response. It allows us to identify vulnerabilities early and act before risks turns into disasters.
With the support of the German government, extensive consultations, joint initiatives were carried out with multiple stakeholders to shape this vision into action. Today, the launch of this policy represents an important step towards a more prepared and resilient Khyber Pakhtunkhwa.
This policy is a much-needed initiative. When all relevant institutions come together and stand united against these disasters, their impact and destruction can be greatly reduced.
Following the launch of this policy, data and early warnings will be used to identify the most vulnerable families before the floods arrive. Communities will be helped to evacuate safely, and children and families will be better prepared for emergencies.
Real resilience means standing with everyone in times of crisis. This policy is important because it promotes inclusion, dignity, and protection for all communities.
Now, we will receive early alerts, giving our families enough time to move to safety before the floods arrive. This makes us feel more protected and prepared.
We feel safer now, knowing that the government is standing with us and making efforts to protect people like us before disaster comes.
This policy provides a framework for government institutions, technical experts, communities, and development partners to work towards disaster risk reduction. The real measure of success, however, will lie in its implementation, turning policy into action and ensuring that investment in development is investment in resilience. GIZ, on behalf of the German government, is proud to support the government of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in turning this shared vision into action and strengthening institutions and communities for generations to come.